You're tuned in to Ask the Good Doctor, live each and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Central, and 10 a.m. Pacific. Dr. DrBrookshire is here to answer your questions live.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Dr. DrBrookshire. Welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. We are here to help you attain, maintain, and reclaim your perfect health. Grab your Good Doctor notebook so you don't miss a moment. Join me on Twitter at Ask the Good Doc, on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. Jump into this conversation. I'm sure you're going to have a lot to say today. Well, I want to have a little chat with you about the number one activity that most women engage in for self-care, and that is receiving a manicure and a pedicure. In recent years, the gel manicures have been all the rage, but there have been some studies that have just recently been released regarding the dangers of not the gel itself, but the UV lighting that is used to set the gel in place. Let's take a look at this clip, Chris, from the Today Show.
The color of choice at your next nail appointment may be cautionary yellow. A new study pointing the finger at UV lamps used to dry and cure gel nail polish. Researchers at UC San Diego and the University of Pittsburgh finding UVA light from dryers can damage DNA and cause mutations in human cells, potentially increasing the risk of skin cancer. Alarming results for the estimated 3 million Americans who visit nail salons each day. The industry bringing in more than $10 billion a year in the U.S. alone. Some regular gel manicure clients expressing their concern about the potential risk of nail dryers on social media.
And I'm feeling really anxious about the damage I probably caused my hands.
Hello.
Dr. Chris Adigan, a dermatologist in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, explains gel polish won't solidify without this light. She says even dryers with LED bulbs emit some UVA rays.
What do people need to know about putting their fingers into those UV lights?
That radiation of UVA causes damage to the skin cells, and that causes premature aging of the skin and increases our risk of skin cancer. How much of that UVA exposure that's needed from these nail lamps, that we have yet to discover.
Adigan says more research is needed, but in the meantime, she says you don't have to scratch gel nails from your beauty routine. Just try to limit your UVA exposure.
What is the best way to protect yourself if you want a gel manicure?
I recommend patients use a UPF factor fabric or any kind of sun protective fabric to cover their hands.
So wear a glove with the fingertips cut off?
That's right.
Kind of like Bring Back Madonna style.
That's right.
The American Academy of Dermatology also recommends applying a broad-spectrum water-resistant sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher. But Adigan says she prefers fabric over sunscreen.
These sunscreens were tested based on the UVA and UVB combination exposure from our sun. And the type of UVA exposure that is coming out of those lamps is very different than what's emitted from our sun.
While the Food and Drug Administration considers UV dryers low risk when used as directed, some research shows certain lamps can emit UV radiation stronger than the sun. Skin cancer survivor Carolina Jasko believes nail dryers may have led to her diagnosis.
When I was a senior in high school, I was diagnosed with melanoma.
Jasko, who first shared her story with Today.com in 2019, says while at the nail salon, she noticed a black vertical line similar to these under one of her thumbnails. That's an early sign of melanoma.
A malformed nail in the absence of trauma, that also needs to be evaluated by a dermatologist because that could be the early signs of a squamous cell carcinoma in the nail.
When getting a manicure, Adigan says become a partner with your nail tech. Ask them to avoid pushing or cutting your cuticle because it helps protect your fingertips from inflammation and infection. Other tips to help keep you safe at the salon: consider traditional nail polish instead of gel. Reserve gel for special occasions. And know the possible side effects of your medications. Some can increase your sensitivity to UV light. Advice to help you nail it when it comes to your health.
And Adigon recommends taking a nail polish vacation at least once every couple of months. That way you can actually see your natural nails and inspect them for abnormalities like those dark vertical lines, any redness, any inflammation. And if you're looking for an alternative to gel nails, dip powders are another choice, and they don't require that UV light. So they're not options.
I did not know the thing about the dark line on your nail is an indicator of cancer.
Exactly. An early sign of melanoma, Dr.
So if you have big gel manicures that you keep replacing, you never get even a peek at that. Wow, I learned a lot.
Me too, Vicki.
Thanks,
Thank
Vic.
you very much.
And I hope you learned a lot from that as well. I certainly did. It is imperative that we take a nail vacation. But what can you do if you do see fungus on your nails, if you do see chipped nails and ridges like the young lady had here? Here with us today is Craig Cobb, the formulator of a product called Hair Tonic that he has formulated not only just for our hair, but for skin, lashes, and nails as well. Hello, Craig.
Hi, LaJoyce. How are you? Glad to be back.
I am well. Excuse me, Professor Cobb. I am so... Give you your due. I am so happy that you are with us today to shed light on this important conversation, because you actually have a solid solution to help those whose nails have been affected and infected negatively by using these nail products. Say more.
Absolutely. And so it all began, of course, as you know, in my sleep, where I just woke up with instructions on how to take plants and make topically applied products. One of the conditions that I've had since I was 12 years old is a darkened toenail, the big toenail on the left foot. Well, I've been in moisture since I was 12 years old. I was the paper boy. So every day of the entire year from the time I was 12 years old until I went away to college at 18, and even through then with ROTC, my feet were in moisture. And the big toenail on the left foot got black. That happens with construction workers, cops, firemen, etc. And so the pills that they give you mess up your liver and your kidneys.
Yes, it does. And your sperm count. Hello, let me just say.
Yeah, right. Following the doctrine of signatures, cabbage is shaped like a head, but has the veins of the heel of a healthy foot.
I want you to pause. I want you to say more about the doctrine of signatures. It is something that I speak of regularly, but you, as a curator of products that keep us well in different ways, you are utilizing the doctrine of signatures in your product lines. So say more about what the doctrine of signatures is and what it indicates.
Okay, so the doctrine of signatures is just the indications that plants give us as to how they impact our health. So for example, in its simplicity, a tree gives us oxygen, right? We have branches in a tree. Well, look in the lungs. The bronchial tubes look like branches.
Yes.
And so that is an example of the doctrine of signature. And it goes on and on. For example, in a storm, lightning occurs, it sends electricity through the air, and that's what makes seeds open. So look at ginger. Ginger looks similar to lightning, the way that it grows.
Yes.
And so a cup of tea is a cup of tea until you add ginger to it and it becomes medicine.
There you go.
Plants indicate what they're for. In this example, for our nails, many of the conditions in the feet affect our sinuses and our allergies and things that occur in the head. Well, look at this. Cabbage is shaped like a head, yes?
Yes.
It has the veins of the feet.
Show the inside. Show the inside. Turn it around.
A CAT scan looks similar to this swirl in the cabbage.
Hold that closer to the camera. You are absolutely, yes, it does look like the swirl of a cabbage. And I'm glad that you actually have a sample to show. And this is an indicator of the doctrine of signatures. And this is one of the ways that we can actually heal ourselves. Like the walnut is shaped like the brain. Eat
Absolutely.
more walnuts, strengthens that brain. Absolutely. Continue with your story in terms of how you came to create Hair Tonic.
So my daughter had come of age. It was time for her to move on with her life. And, in my family, once you're 18, make a decision to move, go on. You didn't have to leave. but she had to do something, and she decided to go to our beloved Chicago. I asked God what was next for me, and I had eczema and psoriasis since I was 20 years old at the time. Now, at that time, 43 years of age, I woke up out of my sleep knowing how to do this. And it was a very peculiar feeling because I did not have a dream. I just woke up as if someone had spoken to me in my sleep. So when I began to, so I made this product out of 7 plants, and I put it on my scalp, and I never had eczema or psoriasis again. Now, was it perfect? No. Where I'm bald, I'm going bald in certain areas of my hair. My hair would not grow back, but where my hair can grow, it grew aggressively. And so while my product cannot cure baldness, I'm also a man and not particularly vain about my hair. But for women, it's very, very helpful. So then if those 7 plants say hair, then other plants say other elements of health. For example, cabbage says the head, but it also, again, says the feet. And it says cat scan. If you cook cabbage, it smells like what? Dirty feet.
Now, I don't know about your cabbage, but anyway.
Ow!
Just saying. I like the smell. But okay. Okay. If you say I say Fritos smell like funky feet too. Go ahead.
I digress. How effective Fritos are for our health. But the point is that plants indicate what they are for our health. And it doesn't take apex education. It takes the studying of plants. And that's why, of course, I have fallen in love with Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire. So my product, Exodus, is made of cabbage and also made of peppers. If you look at reflexology, they have a diagram. You'll find a diagram of the foot. The first toenail on the left foot has a gland that looks just like this pepper.
Wow.
So if I take pepper and cabbage and ginger and other plants and fuse them together in a pressure cooker, I create the product Exodus, and it removes foot and toenail fungus and also the dead and dry skin on the feet. Now, I cannot, because I'm not a doctor, I can't make medical claims. Right. But my testimonies of my customers have told me their blood pressure has decreased. There is no more darkening of the toenails. And this is all completely natural. So in the wake of what's happening in nail salons, I really want to bring attention to just a natural approach to some of the health disparities that we experience. Mm-hmm. I can't make your nails shine, but I can bring them back to prime health.
Yes, that is exquisite, because we are in a society that, I like the word that you like to say, is instant everything.
Yes, right. Instantaneous everything. So that's the problem with these ultraviolet lights. Let me just pose a rhetorical question. How would we ever believe that ultraviolet UV rays do us good?
I agree.
When we think all of our lives, we've known that UV rays are not healthy.
Are bad.
Suddenly, because they make our nails glow, that's a good thing. It's scary.
And I'm going to tell you a true story. Yesterday, I went to the nail salon. I took my healthy nail polish from the Sabella line through Melaleuca, and I wanted that gel nail polish off of my toes because that's enough of that. I did it. I probably have had gel manicure on my toes probably 4 times. And especially through the winter when you're not going to the salon as much. So then that's why I got it, to maintain the integrity of the toenail, but also the polish. And so when she's taking it off, she said, "You don't want nail gel polish?" And I said, "No, I want this today," which I use most of the time. And she said, "Oh, but the gel lasts longer." And I said, "No, thank you. You sure you don't want gel?" "No, I don't want gel." And this is what they're selling, that it lasts longer. The polish lasts longer. And she was doing her level best to convince me to get the gel polish. And I said, "No, thank you." So we went with my healthy stuff, which I'll have in a link down below on how you can get it. Yes.
So there's superficial treatments. And I think that, to your point and to your practice and mine as well, doing things naturally is just, it may be harder, it may take a little longer, but it's a much better approach.
Much better approach, because we know that this instantaneous lifestyle, but that's just like eating enriched bleached flour. Would you ever take a sip of bleach? And whoever convinced us that any amount of bleach was okay, but people will reach for the Wonder Bread.
You know, you're right. I was so angry at my parents growing up because we would never eat fast food. But now as an adult, I'm so thankful because at 54 years of age, I've never been fat. I don't have any health disparities of measure. So I agree with you. It's the instantaneous this and that is what's killing us.
Yes. You started with the product called Hair Tonic that is exclusively for the hair. And like you said, you put it on your own hair and your what you call adult cradle cap. I like that. Cleared up. And then when did you decide to extend the brand into the Exodus and the Lash and Brow?
That's an interesting question. So what happened, I said, well, if these 7 plants say hair based on the doctrine of signatures, which we've discussed, then these other plants have to say feet. So I started looking up conditions of the feet and my toes, and I realized, oh my gosh, that condition is connected. The darkened toenail is connected to a stroke. A stroke occurs in the head. So I went to cabbage and I studied cabbage and I saw it again, shaped like a head, but the veins of the feet.
Okay, let me stop. How true you are. How right that is. Because that big toenail is the head. That big toe in reflexology is the head. Every toe, every stem, every pressure point on that foot aligns with an organ in the body. And that big toe is the head. 100%.
Yeah, so just last night, I was walking down the street and there was a woman who had a stroke. But, by the time you have a stroke, sometimes it can be too late. And so I just asked randomly, how are your toenails? Her toenails were dark. They had been dark for a long time. And I just wish I would have met her and caught her in the neighborhood. Not that I have a cure, but to help prevent. Because, of course, we cannot claim, as urban people, we cannot claim cures. But we know that it can help.
It's a preventative mechanism. And in our health, our posture, we must maintain a posture of prevention. And is there a cure for a lot of things? No, but I say that the cure for everything is prevention. Because that's right.
Many of the cures for the ailments that we have are in the earth. It is an indisputable belief and practice that I have doing Hair Tonic and other products. So the other product is my muscle rub. Now, people suffer from arthritis. I went to Convent Avenue Baptist Church. I've been going to Convent Avenue Baptist Church for close to 20 years. My Sunday school teacher was 80, but she ran like she was 60 or 50, and she had arthritis. And she said, oh, I'm in pain and I've got to get a shot. You got to get a shot. You get a shot for arthritis? She was like, yes. I gave her my muscle rub, and she didn't have to get a shot for several weeks. Now, she was already in her 80s. Unfortunately, during COVID, we lost her. But that was a testimony for me.
Indeed.
And it's based on fennel. If we look at fennel, fennel is shaped like, or has the same pattern as the muscle system.
Yeah.
Look at the bottom of the plant fennel. And then on the top of it, it has these spiny needles that remind us of acupuncture and pain in our muscles. And so that's what muscle rub is made of, fennel.
I love that. Because there's nothing like a fennel salad. You chop that up with some celery, make a honey mustard and some apples. What a salad. So refreshing, so light. And I digress because, my thing is go to is food. But that combination is so healing unto itself. Speaking of testimonies, it's testimony time right now, right here. And I want to share my personal testimony of being a longtime user of Hair Tonic on my hair. It's so wild and woolly that I have a hard time taming it. Thank you, Craig. But I appreciate it. And it is in need of being tamed by a professional currently, which is why I have a scarf on, sad to say. But My hair is evidence of this product. We all use it in our household, and also Exodus worked wonders on my husband's feet.
Good.
Right?
Good.
So I appreciate you, Craig. The bottom line is the next time you go to the nail salon, consider giving your nails a break and just going with nothing, getting them clipped down, letting them grow naturally, taking off all of the artificial things, because truly, if we do not do this, one day with too much lighting and artificial nails and powders and things, we will glow in the dark.
We're gonna glow in the dark. Exactly. We're gonna glow in the dark. Forget Con Edison. You know what I'm saying? Just I'm not in that realm. I'm about the nature thing. That's why I love.
We are going to glow in the dark. I thank you, Craig, for being here today. Tell everyone how they can obtain your product.
Okay, so you can contact me via email at VocalVictory@outlook.com, and I will navigate you through either PayPal, Zelle, or Cash App. My entire line, all 5 of my products will be $100 package, but each of them can be purchased individually.
Okay. I will have that link down below. Craig, I thank you for being here today, Professor Cobb, and shining a light on this issue, but more than that, coming with a solid solution. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us, Craig.
So much. I appreciate you.
And I thank all of you for being with us today. I want to thank you, supervising producer, my team, Chris Brown, our announcer today, and Chris Green, technical producer. Remember to let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good food fast, and go easy on the greasy. Until next time, I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.